So we have this saying that when you have a really big hammer, everything looks like a nail. You want to use that hammer to do everything possible. And I would say Kubernetes is a hammer. And in a lot of cases, we've tried to do everything possible with that hammer. Let's talk about the hammer first. It's big. It's powerful. It operates at massive scale. It takes advantage of the elastic nature of cloud compute. It auto-scales vertically. It can auto-scale horizontally. It's self-healing. It's extensible. I could go on for days about all the things that Kubernetes can do. It's fantastic. I've based my career on it for the last 8 years. But the flip side of that is the complexity. I can spend 2 minutes on Google searching for Kubernetes and get quotes from Red Hat, Forbes, random users on Reddit about how complex Kubernetes is. It's a lot of effort to boil down all of that complexity. What is not a nail? What should we not be using Kubernetes for? What are some of the things that we've done, the things that we've seen? And you're all going to argue with me, I've done that in Kubernetes, or I've done that in Kubernetes. You can do all the things with Kubernetes, and that's totally fine. And we'll get into that a little bit more later. But let's start with the database. Are you a DBA? Do you have a team of DBAs working for you? I know I don't. I'm not that fortunate. Do your DBAs know Kubernetes? Do they know how to take the complexities of a database and apply that to the complexities of Kubernetes? If not, maybe we should keep it super simple and run our databases in the places where the experts are already running them for us. I think we have some vendors in the room who might want to talk to you. Let's also talk about the singleton. We've all had that app that can't be restarted. It can't run multiple replicas. If I reboot the server, it takes down the whole stack. Somebody goes, who rebooted that server? Right? Maybe we shouldn't be running that in Kubernetes, because Kubernetes likes to restart things. It's kind of core to the way that we operate Kubernetes. And then we have the legacy monolith. It's probably got some hard-coded configuration. It's got tightly coupled dependencies. Maybe it's also the singleton that we just talked about. Maybe it's got a queue hiding somewhere deep in the code that nobody knows how it operates. Maybe that's not a great thing to be running in Kubernetes. So really, let's come back and talk about what is a nail? What should we be running Kubernetes? What is it good at? Well, the easy answer is the 12-factor app. It's stateless. It stores config in the environment. It's loosely coupled with its dependencies. There's 9 other things that I won't get into here because this is a lightning talk. But this runs in Kubernetes really well. It's kind of built for it. The batch job. I put a question mark here because while the batch job is elastic in nature and it runs in Kubernetes rather well, is your batch job checkpointed? Can you restart it? Because if it's not, then it's a singleton. And maybe it shouldn't be running in Kubernetes. But let's level up our thinking a little bit here. Instead of talking about what is a nail, what isn't a nail, what should we be using Kubernetes for from the technical aspect, let's ask the bigger question. As a business running Kubernetes, running infrastructure, what are the questions we should be asking? What are we doing and why are we running Kubernetes? Do you have the in-house expertise to run Kubernetes and handle all of that complexity that we talked about? Do you have the people to maintain that ecosystem and do all of those upgrades and maintain that stack that somebody talked about in the previous talk that goes on top of Kubernetes? We have a banana for scale here. Is scale your core business problem? Do you need to be able to take advantage of the elastic nature of the cloud and scale up to massive scale? Or are you an early stage startup that's pre-revenue? You have no customers, and really what you should be focused on is your product. Do you have stable traffic patterns? Do you need the flexibility of Kubernetes? Maybe you don't. Do you have a stable legacy monolith that's been running quietly for 20 years and has very little maintenance cost and is serving all of your business needs really well? Maybe Kubernetes isn't for you either. So in the end, make good choices. Make informed choices and do something great. Thank you.